I did some studies on other sketches, and this one of the sketches I did to see how he might look. And he's so clean and calm here. So sometimes I get carried away, and sometimes I don't, because I'm afraid sometimes what the people might think or say. And then I gave it up. I said, no, you know what? I just won't show it. This is just for myself, and that's it. But this is the time to show it. I decided just to show it, and I think it'll do good for some people. As far according to the, I've been reading and looking at the shroud lately. I went back to this. I haven't touched this paintings in years, but I've came back to it because that's not the way I paint. I paint this as my own ideas and feelings sometimes, but I don't paint this way regularly. I paint more of a feelings of seascapes and landscapes, and mostly shapes that looks like human, but they're mountains and things like that. But it's fun. It's a fantasy painting. It's a way of I paint this fantasy way that is serenity and peaceful to look at, I think, and that's what people have told me. This is a painting I did a couple of years before the crucifixion. At that time, it was people, well, to me, I had the inspiration from, at that time, Biafra was in trouble of starvation and things like that, and this back in 1970, around there, and 69, 70. So I got inspired to paint this painting. It's an older man saying thank you to God, or saying prayer, or maybe just contemplating in peace. And sometimes you never know by just looking at things, and then when you do look at it and you see feelings, it just gives you back some kind of a feeling that it's humanity. I guess, people of all kinds have feelings, and people that don't have feelings have to get feelings somehow, because how can you live without feelings? Feelings is a matter of love, it's a matter of suffering, it's a matter of learning. It's a matter of connecting with God and your Creator, and also the feeling you get when you're at peace is not, you cannot buy, and that feeling you get from within, and by meditating to your Creator, our Maker. I think that this painting has a lot of feelings, and I kept it. Nobody's seen this painting. I think it's all scratched up. Here's another painting I started. I never finished it. It's not even halfway. Well, I could say it's halfway, but I've not finished it. This is about 10 years ago when somebody asked me to do one for them, and I started, and the deal went sour, so I stopped the painting. Sometimes other people have ideas of how things should look to their eyes, and if they're not satisfied, they quit. And so it's always good to do. Don't have things to be done or hire you by being a verbal or shake hand. Best thing is just a black and white signed contract. Anyway, so I never finished it, but here's some kind of an idea that you might get just by looking at this painting here. It's the way that he wanted it naked, and so I cannot do that. So I told him I can't do that, so therefore he quit, which is fine. But that's how far I got into this painting, which I was not going to do it naked, but I got as close as possible, because that was the ultimate shame when God was crucified, to have him naked, and that's something that no artist can paint or do unless they're different than I am. Well, I think that I'm showing you things just to get an idea, because I want to talk about the shroud, and the shroud is very unique and something that they should be looking to more. When I first started painting this crucifixion, this is about 35 years ago, I had no idea that I was going to still have this painting around. I'd never shown it before, and I've changed his face maybe a half a dozen times in 35 years, because once in a while, a year or two goes by, and 3 years goes by, and then I have a different feeling how he might look. So this is the problem about keeping a painting around for too long. I've maybe kept around because it's not for sale. It was not never meant and was intended to be shown. This is just a challenge of how can I paint the crucifixion without looking like somebody else's painting. I wanted to be on my own and do this on my own and have my own ideas. And as time went by, I noticed that as I studied, it took me a couple of years just to think about it, 2 or 3 years. And as I thought about it, I read some things, and I read the Bible, and I asked questions. I talked to pastors, ministers, and different people with opinions about the crucifixion. And, I just had to go on my own way to how to figure this out, because everybody had different ideas, a little bit different than others. And as I checked out all the paintings for the past, even back, 1400s, way back, 14th century. Anyway, sometimes, you think about something and you go, well, maybe this is not the way it is, or maybe this is what it is. You're so sure, and then a year goes by, and 2 years goes by, and you got a different opinion. Well, that's what happened with many artists as it goes by. They copy the crucifixion or borrow from ideas from the other artists, and then add to it and change it their way and figure out what's the best way to show it. And almost every crucifixion I noticed, the hair is always the same. Something is different about it, but sometimes there's a little bit different. Like, for instance, on the hair, on the top in the middle, there's always a little piece of hair that falls to the left. And I noticed that, and I said, well, okay, I'll put that in. But as far as the beard, some people painted a short beard, some people have a longer beard. But then as you read on, that beard was really pulled for his face right in the middle. You can see there's a chunk missing. His beard was longer. And then also, I should have put a broken nose there, but it's not crooked. But that's what it was. He was supposed to be punch marked all over, and he was just a kind of a, oh boy, what would I call it? His body just looked like went through a grinder, and it was too hard to paint those things. And I just did as much as I can go with it, but I couldn't take the pain as an artist. So as me, the way I paint with a feeling that I feel what I'm doing. I can touch it, and I can visualize it, and I can feel it. I can feel the pain, sort of speaking. But anyway, sometimes it takes imagination about what happened that day and how it happened. And when you do get into that, you got to be ready for some kind of a sorrow, some feelings that you're going to feel for Jesus, how he was tortured and how he was innocent being tortured for no reason at all, that they just didn't believe him. So he went through that for us, and this is what he gave us, his body, to us. His blood was poured out because to forgive our sins, according to the Bible, this is what he went through. So I show the face right now, and then I would like to maybe go down a little further and show you a little bit more as far as his body goes. So what I'll be doing is coming back and forth with it, okay? I think that you'll get the whole painting as I go through. Here's a painting, sculpture, a three-dimensional sculpture that I did of the, this is before the painting. Before I did this painting, no, I'm wrong, sorry. This was inspired by the shroud of the painting I did, but then when I read the Book of Turin, then I just got, once in a while I got an idea, and I decided, well, who was the creator? And so I just went ahead. I did a sculpture first, just myself, just a flat sculpture. Then I decided to mount it and put it on the wall with the background of the geometric shape, the laws of the arts, which is the triangle, dexter, and verticals and squares, and which is sometimes the circles. You can put all this thing together and create art out of it, and that's what I did. Three shapes: one as a square, a circle, and a pyramid-like type, which is a triangle. So I think this is pretty heavy because it's made out of different materials, and it's fascinating. It's very intriguing, and it's inspirational to me too. So I call this painting, this sculpture, the creator.